let's have a look at the Archetype cards by Carolyn Miss. This has 80 freaking cards in it. I bought it because I bought the Archetype book that Carolyn wrote. She was like one of those authors that, like, once I caught a wind of her, I was like, I'm going to order every book that you've ever written and your Oracle deck. Now, the Oracle deck guidebook is very precise. It's got some bullets of keywords, maybe some things that this archetype represents, and a very short, brief suggestion of how you can use this guidance in your life. But the cards themselves really, for the most part, stand alone without the guidebook even, because it has the light attributes and the shadow attributes. So they're different colors. I don't know if they represent different categories, but this could be good with, like, look at this, 80 cards. Like, this is like shuffling clay tablets. Okay. So say like I was doing a reading for you with like maybe your life purpose or more insight of who you are or the people in your life are. Each personality, each archetype has a light attribute and a shadow attribute. You could say positive, you could say negative. This comes up in other decks like the Oracle of the Essences, like even aromatherapy, like the essence of orange. In its positive personality, it's got these attributes. In its negative personality, it has the shadow attributes, sometimes negative. But you can really look into each one, like the Samaritan. The light attribute would be refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. The shadow attribute, exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. So if you identify with the Samaritan, you can kind of ask yourself, like, am I working from my light, or am I working through my shadow with the hero or heroine? Clearly working through my shadow with my pronunciation. All right, so there's a lot of archetypes that you've never heard of. Midas, Miser. So you could be learning a few things because Carolyn's a smart girl. Destroyer. Some of these are ones that you don't really want to acknowledge within yourself, but we are a conglomerate of archetypes. Storyteller. Vampire. The artwork is, it's in the little, is that an octagon? I don't know, I'd have to count it actually to know. Monk, nun. So I thought these were different because they cover a lot of ground. Child, magical, alchemist. Like, are you using your light of an alchemist to transform base motives and goals into golden wisdom? Or shadow, are you misusing the power and knowledge that comes through your spiritual practice to, like, manipulate others? Victim. Now this one, there might be a couple of these in the deck. You can draw your own picture, which, good luck on this glossy paper, but good try. Divine child. Yeah, so there's a couple of these. Apparently, I'm not interested in that whatsoever. What was that, like 5 of these cards that you can make your own archetypes? And it is true, like, by the stories that you tell, the archetypes are unlimited. Advocate, Fool, Saboteur, Saboteur. Like I said, you're going to learn a few things. Teacher, student, pioneer. Understanding, though, the story that you're telling is what this deck could be used for. Like, you're the storyteller. So do you like being a detective in your life? Do you like being suspicious of everyone? If not, rewrite it. Maybe you want to be more of a mediator. And then just understanding, martyr, where you're at in your story, in your archetypal journey. Slave, prostitute. See, there's a lot going on in this deck. So prostitute, light attribute, accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. Shadow attribute, places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Kind of interesting. Companion, bully, visionary, hermit. It's like Keanu Reeves is an archetype. Yep, he is now. Child, orphan, shapeshifter, mentor. So there's a lot of archetypes that you want to be, and then there's some that you don't want to be. Avenger, gossip, engineer, healer. How could it be a shadow? Taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for yourself. So if you consider yourself a healer, but things aren't lining up in your life, like, well, are you taking care of you? So these cards really can lead to insights about your life. Judge, warrior, femme fatale, scribe, knight, romantic delusions. It's great. Queen, beggar, child nature, rescuer, goddess, king. We have mother, reversed, of course. Thief, no comment. Lover, networker. See, lots of things that you would have never even thought about how you can connect through the archetypal story. Virgin, hedonist, it's all over the place. Angel, God, addict, Messiah. Seriously, you guys, 80 of these. Seeker. Well, actually 74 plus 6 blank cards for you to throw away. Just kidding. Okay, seeker, prince. What am I being right now? Not an athlete. Not a poet. Maybe a gambler. Guide. Servant. Priest. Weird. I would, it's just kind of weird ones too. But liberator. Child, eternal, father, exorcist. There's a lot going on here. Artist, trickster, mystic, damsel, Don Juan. Carolyn was having wine when she designed this. Child wounded, rebel, dilettante. Okay, so let's attempt Moses style to shuffle this clay tablet of an oracle deck. Just bulky, but fun to use, especially if you are doing the archetypal journey. Rebel. Okay, I can't even get this back in the box. It's too mucked up. Okay, the light attributes of the rebel: challenges authority to affect social change. That's a light attribute. Rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Now, the shadow side of the rebel archetype: rejects legitimate authority out of anger. Rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. More fashion, more fashion, more footwork, more footwork. So as we look in the guidebook for rebel, the other archetypal similar archetypes are anarchist, revolutionary, political protester, nonconformist, a pirate. Oh, yeah. Whether politically inclined or an artistic innovator, the rebel is a key component of all human growth and development. So we've all been a rebel before, I hope. Helps you see past tired preconceptions in your professional or creative work, or to reject spiritual systems that don't serve your inner needs. So sometimes you really do have to butt heads with the system. You really do have to forge your own path. But the shadow rebel compels you to rebel out of peer pressure or for the sake of fashion, and to become mirrored in another manifestation of conformity. See, you think you're being a rebel, but if it's out of peer pressure, you're just conforming to rebels. Wow. Let that sink in. May also reject legitimate authority for the wrong reasons. So this guidebook says, look for a lifelong pattern of rebelling against the establishment, but even if the rebel isn't part of your intimate circle, you probably have it to some extent and should pay attention to it. So your intimate circle, you might connect with some of these archetypes more strongly than others, obviously. So you determine your archetypes, you determine who's in your intimate circle, and then see which ones are causing you trouble. Anyways, great deck indeed. Carolyn Myss Archetype cards.